Hey everyone, good morning. Today I'll be presenting on the topic Among Us, the Zero Trust Model, and we will be discussing about the imposters that stay between our network and hide in plain sight. First, a little about me. My name is Sarthak Taneja, and I'm working as an information security engineer at a fintech corporation. You can find me at Twitter and Discord. So, a little bit introduction about Zero Trust Model. Initially, Zero Trust was created by John Kinderberg during his realization that the traditional security models operate on a outdated assumption that everything inside an organization's network should be trusted. But under this broken trust model, it is assumed that a user's identity is not compromised and that all users act responsibly and can be trusted. The zero trust model recognizes that trust is a vulnerability. Once on the network, users, including threat actors and malicious insiders, are free to move laterally and access or exfiltrate whatever data they are not limited to. Remember one thing, the point of infiltration of an attack is often not the target location. They move laterally and get to the target location. Why a zero trust model is needed? With the As we can see with the modern workforce becoming increasingly on the go, accessing applications from multiple devices outside of the business perimeter, enterprises have adopted a verify then trust model. They verify explicitly, which means if someone has the correct user credentials, they are admitted to whichever site, application, or device they are requesting. This resulted in an increased risk of exposure, dissolving what was once trusted enterprise zone of control and leaving many organizations exposed to data breaches, malware, and as we all can see, ransomware attacks. Protection is now needed where applications and data and users and devices are located. To be competitive, businesses need a zero trust network architecture able to protect the enterprise data wherever users and devices are. But meantime, also ensuring that applications work quickly and seamlessly. I came across by researching about zero trust model, and this is the perfect definition of zero trust. That zero trust is not about making a system trusted, but instead it is all about eliminating the trust factor from the organization. When we talk about imposters, there are mainly three categories of imposters, which can be insider threats, devices, and applications. Insider threats can be both greenfield and side greenfield employees. Greenfield employees can be employees which are fired or which left the organization and now have malicious intent against the organization. But side greenfield employees can be which are like angry from management or just experimenting stuff. For example, not all insider threats have the malicious intent. I can share one example I went through. Like during my last job, I was testing an ransomware on my device, and like my intent was pure, and I was tuning an EDR, but it went wrong, and the my machine was compromised. So insider threats can be of this type also. So zero trust must be there to not have any mishappening on the network. Devices can be both trusting and infected, same as applications can be both trusted and compromised, and there can be a spyware hiding in our network and we get to know about it like after 2 or 3 years. We have seen these kind of attacks in recent supply chain attacks. Then we come to secure access services model, which is mainly a SASE model. Before diving into the specifics of SASE, it's important to understand a bit of background on this new term. Existing network approaches and technologies simply no longer provide the levels of security and access control digital organizations need. These organizations demand immediate, uninterrupted access for their users, no matter where they are located. As we can see, with an increase in remote users and software as a service applications, data moving from one data center to cloud services, and more traffic going to public cloud services and branch offices, then back to data center, the need for a new approach for network security has risen. So, what do we mean by a SASE? SASE is basically an emerging cybersecurity concept that Gartner described in August 2019 report, The Future of Network Security in the Cloud. With so many similar terms and acronyms floating around, it's important to make sure you understand what our vendor is actually talking about when you're discussing the solutions of the network. The concept of zero trust came about because the old network security model of inside means trusted and outside means untrusted no longer works. The zero trust model moves security away from the like it it asks for the explicitly verification of the user whether they are trusted or not. The concept of came about the zero trust model moves security away from implied trust that is based on network location. Instead, it focuses on evaluating trust on a per transaction basis. Then we come to after zero trust, it evolved to zero trust access model, which is ZTA, and then it further evolved to ZTNA, which is zero trust network access model. Zero trust access is about knowing and controlling who and what is on your network. Role-based access control is a critical component of access management. Only by knowing definitely who a user is can the appropriate level of access be granted based on their role. Is the user an employee, a guest, or a contractor, or can be even a malicious guest in our network? Whatever is their role and what network access sites does that role entitles them to. Unfortunately, ZTNA isn't the most obvious naming convention because although it's called Zero Trust Network Access, it's really all about brokered access for users to applications. So it might have been a clearer call to Zero Trust Application Access, but better or worse, it's ZTNA. A key takeaway is that ZTNA is an element of the larger ZTA proposition. So I try to explain how SASE actually works. So first, a convergence. SASE is basically a convergence of WAN wide area network. It's the simplest form. A wide area network is a collection of a local area networks or other networks that communicate with one another. A WAN is essentially a network of networks, and the internet we use almost every second of the day is the biggest WAN we use. Then we come to a CASP solution, which is a cloud access security broker. According to Gartner, cloud security access broker is an on-premises or cloud-based security policy enforcement point that is placed between a cloud service consumers and a cloud service provider to combat and intercept the enterprise security policy as cloud-based resources are accessed. As we all know, organizations are increasingly turning to CSP vendors to address cloud services, enforcing security policies and complying with regulations even when cloud services are beyond their perimeter and out of their direct control. Then we come to a FWaaS service, which is firewall as a service. Firewall as a service refers to a cloud firewall that delivers advanced layer 7 or we can say next generation firewall capabilities, including access control such as URL filtering, advanced threat protection, intrusion prevention, and DNS security. The concept of firewall as a service is not about simply virtualizing appliances. Firewall as a service enables organizations to eliminate firewall and simplify the, we can say, IT infrastructure. Centralized management from a single console enables organizations to eliminate the challenges of change control, patch management, coordinating outreach windows, and policy management associated with next generation firewall appliances, while delivering consistent policies across the organization where users can connect. Then we come to zero trust model. So basically, SASE is the convergence of wide area networking or WAN and network security services like CASB, firewall as a service, and zero trust into a single cloud delivered service model. According to Gartner, SASE capabilities are delivered as a service based upon the identity of the entity. real-time context, enterprise security compliance policies, and continuous assessment of risk trust throughout the sessions. Identities of entities can be associated with people, group of people, devices, applications, services, IoT systems, or edge computing locations. Gartner expects that by 2024, at least 40% of the enterprises will have explicit strategies to adopt SASE, up from less than 1% at the year end of 2018. That's amazing, right? A SASE architecture identifies users and devices, apply policy-based security, and deliver secure access to appropriate application or data. This approach allows organizations to apply secure access no matter where the users, applications, or devices are located. So basically, as I have seen that people confuse that it's ZTNA versus SASE or but ZTNA and SASE. But think of SASE as a higher level design philosophy than ZTNA. They are not separate or competing network security models. Rather, ZTNA is a part of an overall SASE architecture. Note, however, that while security implementation may be short to medium term objective for network architects, SASE is a long term goal. Organizations may decide today and they buy into SASE approach and then move slowly evolve their network and security stacks towards the SASE model. They will take time as designers move to replace outdated security technologies and better integrate those that remain. Note that moving to a SASE model both requires and enables a zero trust approach to network security. Here we have this SASE architecture. Mainly, SASE aim is to blend these services and technologies to build a cloud-aware and cloud-based security network. A SASE model is especially appealing to organizations that abundantly use the cloud and cloud services or are on a path to the cloud. This includes distributed organizations, for example, those with branch location and dispersed end users, as well as businesses with IoT and edge deployments. The SASE security model can help your organization in several ways. First, which is flexibility. Imagine with a cloud-based infrastructure, you can implement and deliver security services such as threat prevention, web filtering, sandboxing, DNS security, data loss prevention, and next-gen firewalls policies in a single bundle. Then cost savings, instead of buying and managing multiple point products, utilizing a single platform will dramatically reduce your cost and IT resources. Then it will also reduce the complexity of the network. You can simply simplify your IT infrastructure by minimizing the number of security products your IT team has to manage, update, and maintain, consolidating your security stack into a cloud-based network security service. One second, I'll have support. Then SASE model also helps in increasing the performance. With a cloud infrastructure, you can easily connect to wherever resources are located. Access to applications, internet, and corporate data is available globally these days. Then zero trust model is add on to the SASE model, or it always includes the zero trust model. A zero trust approach to the cloud removes trust assumptions when user devices or applications connect. A SASE solution will provide complete session protection regardless of whether a user is on or off the corporate network. Then it comes with threat prevention. Like with full content inspection integrated into a SASE solution, you benefit from more security and visibility in your network. Then, as we said, the DLP and data protection comes with SASE. Implementing data protection policies within SASE framework helps prevent unauthorized access and abuse of the sensitive data. It is it is a myth that achieving zero trust is often perceived as costly and complex. However, zero trust is built upon your existing architecture and does not require you to rip and replace existing technologies. There are no such zero trust products in the market. There are products that well work in zero trust environments and those that don't. Zero Trust is also quite simply to deploy, implement, and maintain using a simplified methodology, which is identifying the protect surface, map the transaction flows, build a zero trust architecture, create zero trust policy, and then monitor and maintain. Protection surface can consist of identities, endpoints, data, application, infrastructure, and network. Building a zero trust architecture includes these major four steps: utilization of microsegmentation. So, what is microsegmentation? Microsegmentation is the process of breaking up the security parameters into small zones to maintain separate access for separate parts of the network. For example, a network with files living in a single data center that utilizes microsegmentation may contain dozens of separate secure zones. A person or program with access to one of those zones will not be able to access any of the other zones without the separate authorization. So basically, it is like further segmentation of access. Then we come to multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication is the basic building block of an intelligent approach to network security. Properly used it reflects the guiding principle of the zero trust. Never trust, always verify, and verify explicitly. A MFA requires the presentation of two or more authentication factors, such as a knowledge factor, something only the users know, such as password, PIN, or pattern; a position factor, something only the user has, such as an ATM card, smart card; then an inheritance factor, something which contains a biometric characteristics such as fingerprint, retina, and face scan. Upon presentation, each factor must be validated for authentication to occur. Then we come to principle of least privilege. Principle of least privilege is also known as need to know basis. It is a practice of limiting access rights for users to bare minimum permissions they need to perform their work. Under principle of least privilege, users are granted permission to read, write, or execute only the files or resources they need to do their jobs. In other words, the least amount of privilege necessary. Additionally, the principle of least privilege can be applied to restricting access rights for application system processes and devices to only those permissions required to perform authorized activity. Just like users, the user devices cannot be trusted without verification. To achieve complete zero trust security, identity centric controls must be extended to the endpoint. That means every device used to gain access to the corporate resources must first be enrolled so that it can be recognized and verified. Device verification should be enable an organization to determine whether the endpoint seeking to access internal resources meets its security requirements or not. Then we come to guiding principles of zero trust model. It is mainly based on three principles, which are verify explicitly, use of least privilege access, and assuming a breach. Verify explicitly is always authenticate and authorize based on all available data points, including user identity, location, device health, service, or workload. Data classification and anomalies can be included as well. Using least privilege access is limited user access with just in time and just enough access. Risk-based adaptive policies and data protection to help secure both data and productivity of the users. Assuming breaches, minimizing the blast radius for breaches, and prevent lateral movement by segmenting access by network, user devices, and app awareness. Assuming breach, as we can see, is always included into corporation cyber resilience programs as well. Verifying all sessions are encrypted end to end and use analytics to get visibility, drive threat protection, and improve defenses. The zero trust security market will uh, grow from $19.6 billion in 2022. It is expected to grow from 19.6 billion in 2020 to $51.6 billion in 2026. As data security solutions are responsible for securing business database and information such as customer details, financial information, and employee database, as well as the other key business data of any organization. Huge amount of data is generated every day across organization in various industry verticals and effective management. An organization database may comprise of sensitive data such as personally identifiable information, personal health information, or intellectual property, as well as payment card and financial information. So, corporations are moving more to the zero trust model to secure their data. I would like to thank Mr. Amin Gilani, who was the coach for this particular talk, and Maggie Ferro to help me making slides, and Stacy for always having my back. Thank you. Any questions?
I'm not seeing any questions in the Discord channel, but what are some of your favorite tools, paid or open source, to audit or evaluate zero trust, if any?
Okay. So, like during my experience for zero trust model, I have used various Palo Alto products such as Prisma or their SASE infrastructure. And for firewall as a service, we have used next generation firewalls. And then as a EDR, we have used Cortex XDR.
Awesome. I have a comment that says no questions here, but great job. Looks like everyone really loved the talk. We have them for just another few minutes if anyone has any questions and wants to put them up in Discord. Why do you like zero trust over other models of, I know it's not a regulatory framework, but why is zero trust one of your preferred frameworks?
Okay. As we are evolving in the technology, our traditional security models trust the users or our internal applications or internal devices. But internal users or gruntled employees or side gruntled employees can go rogue. Even machines can go rogue, and even the trusted applications can go rogue. So under the zero trust model, we explicitly verify again and again and again in regular intervals of time. So there is not a factor of trust. We eliminate the trust factor.
Yeah, I was first exposed to zero trust when I started using Infection Monkey. Infection Monkey will actually give you in its reporting output like MITRE alignment as well as zero trust kind of compliance alignment, which is pretty fantastic considering it uses a propagating agent. Anything from you, Wade?
I got nothing. I have no experience in zero trust, so it was a lot for me. I'm still trying to catch up on all of it, but it was a good presentation and I enjoyed it overall.
I'm a big advocate of zero trust because trusted relationships, it's actually a MITRE TTP. It's one of those things that can like we in red teaming so rely upon to abuse. Like, oh, like you have an Okta session cookie, so you have a trusted relationship to all these applications or whatever. And it's like zero trust says verify every request, every resource, every person, every time. Like there is no trusted relationship. There is no like just assumed permissions access at any level. It's like everything is going to be verified every time, which I'm personally a really big fan of from the blue side, even though it makes my red teaming life a little harder. That's just my favorite coin.
30 minutes to our next talk, so we have some time to burn.
30 or 20?
Is it 20? I thought next one starts at
It's
12:30.
actually 21. It's at, yeah,
21.
12:30. It's gonna be like 9:30 our time. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
I am right.
After every time.
Did everyone just hear Wade say that? Did everyone just hear Wade tell me I'm right?
This is recorded, so I guess
See how many times we can get him to say
there will be evidence.
Are we live right now?
So we got one question. How would you get started on adopting zero trust?
Ooh, great question.
So basically, zero trust, adopting zero. First, the uh, zero trust model should be a ideology more than the specific tools. Like management should see the organization traffic incoming and outgoing on the basis of zero trust model. So first the ideology should be adopted, then the tools should be tuned on the basis of zero trust, and the verification and authorization must be there.
Good principle to live by. Security is doing the basics well, people. That's basically what zero trust says. Do the basics.
Luckily, doing the basics well is hard. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a job.
Right? None of us would have jobs. All right, well, thank you so much, Sarthak. That was an amazing way to kick off the new speakers track over here. I don't know if that was your first time speaking or not, but you did a great job. It was engaging. Everyone loved it. I personally loved the topic. Zero trust is very near and dear to my little hacker heart.